Gonna have about
The following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport and Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 at Hallmark, trying to go 3 wide. No one's with them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14. It's going to be a photo finish to the line. Who's going to get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's going to try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2 by 2. The 65 gets the win.
Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMeritt at the line.
Welcome, race fans, back to PTR TV for tonight's coverage of the Hardline Racing League, the Midwest POWERSOURCE Cup Series, live here from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway in Loudon, New Hampshire. It's the Racer's Mind 133 here tonight. In the booth is Corey Silva along with Evan Black, and we got Joe Chris behind the scenes doing our quality control for us tonight. So, Evan, we are at the Magic Mile here in the Cup Cars in New Hampshire. What can we look forward to tonight?
Well, this track, it's very difficult to pass that. It's really hard to run side by side here just with how tight the vehicle is or loose it is. There's not much grip out there, so it's going to be really hard to pass tonight. So track position is going to be key.
Yeah, we will watch out for that. Right now, these drivers are in qualifying right now. Still about 2.5 minutes left in the session for these drivers to try to take their best lap times. Currently, Andrew Bird on the top of the scoring pylon.
Yeah, Andrew Bird, but I don't believe we have seen him in one of the races that we have broadcasted, so pretty good if this is his first start.
Yeah, I don't not recall Evan having him in the league, so that is something that we indeed will watch out for. See what he is capable of doing with these drivers tonight. We are on, I believe, race 3 of the season here for Hardline. Remember, they've had races at Daytona. We were at the Rock a couple weeks ago, and here we are at another 1 mile track, the Magic Mile. A lot different than Rockingham. Obviously, we are not having any banking here at Loudon, only about 9 to 10 degrees of banking in the turn, so it will make passing a paramount. It will be very difficult here tonight with the configuration of the groove here, so we will see what these drivers are able to do as we have about a minute left in the session still.
And Jacob Adams up to the top of the charts over Andrew Bird.
Yeah, with a 30.048 second lap time, so that is a good time for him tonight. We'll see if the race pace is able to carry on along with the qualifying pace. We do know a lot of drivers, they have trouble getting going in the race or staying going in the race. We do know how important tire wear is, especially at Loudon with the wheel spin that I assume these drivers will have.
Yeah, it's a little warmer track than usual. It's about 83 degrees right now. 111 degree track temp.
Of course, want to thank everyone for tuning in here to PTR TV for tonight's coverage of Hardline Racing League. It should be a good racing on 133 laps here at Loudon. Shouldn't take too long, so we'll see what kind of show these drivers can put on right now. And as the session is about to wrap up, very good lap by Adams. He is up by nearly a tenth, which on a track this small, that is a very impressive lap time nonetheless.
Yeah, Briarwell Pratt now up to the 3rd position over Nick Massey in 4th.
But that is the changeover right there. This qualifying session is about to wrap up. Remember, we do group qualifying now, so a little bit of runoff time for these drivers to finish the laps that they are on. If anybody on track, you see a couple drivers still trying to turn some laps right now. I think that they will be able to finish the lap they are on. They cannot start a new one. So without further ado, this is the end of qualifying. So we will bring to you the PTR TV starting lineup here from the Magic Mile in Loudon, New Hampshire. Starting on the pole here tonight, Jacob Adams with a lap time of 30.048. We offer him our congratulations on that lap. Andrew Bird rolling off in P2. In 3rd, we have Bryla Pratt. In 4th, we have Nick Massey. And then Thomas Bressie and Tyler Hensley, 5th and 6th. And Joshua Adams and Jeff Wright, 7th and 8th. Evan.
Cole Begunia will be rolling off in 9th. Matthew Bell to his outside. Bronson Stafford in 11th. Robert Kinney to his outside. Glenn Bowen in 13th. Simon Thorns in 14th. Then Cody Tabor, Chuck Sweeting, Casey Shue, Rusty Keeple, and Shane Terrian.
So that is tonight's grid. We think we have about 19 drivers approximately should be taking the grid here tonight. So good size field for these drivers at the Loudon Magic Mile. With I'm gonna confirm, because I always seem to forget, we do have about a 75% fuel load. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct, Corey.
So I would take it upon my estimation that we could probably go about 50 laps on a tank of fuel. We'll see if that is accurate and if the tire wear is conducive of these drivers wanting to stay out there that entire run.
Stage will be on lap 45, so they should be able to get to the end of the first and only stage break.
Remember, this season in the Hardline Racing League, these drivers do get a actual caution on the stage. That was not a thing last season, but that was changed here for this Midwest Power Source season. So that will be at least one guaranteed caution in the race, and we'll see what does happen with how these drivers do race. We do know these drivers are very aggressive here in the Hardline Racing League, not afraid to take what is theirs, and on a track like this could make an exciting race.
Now these drivers rolling up behind the iRacing.com Ford Mustang pace car.
Forgive me, folks, here. We do know for those regular on iRacing, trading paints is our obviously our software to get the paint schemes loaded. It is being trading paints. We know how that sometimes goes, so trying to work on that. So a little patience on that, but this is the green flag. Only one pace lap around New Hampshire. Here they come into turn number 3 and 4. Jacob Adams in the 8 will be your pole sitter and the control car on this initial start of the race. Here we come off of corner number 4, waiting for the pace car to pull into pit lane and get this race underway. There it is. And green flag in the air. We're racing at Loudon.
Jacob Adams got a pretty good start. He will clear for the lead. Now the 19 of Briarville Pratt going through to second underneath that number 49. Now for second position, and the 19 sliding up just a little bit. The 49 still taking another look for that lead, but holding on to second for the moment.
Down the front straightaway we come. Jacob Adams gets sole possession of the lead. Andrew Bird falls into the second spot. You can see here they are still side by side from about third on back.
49 of Andrew Bird trying to take a look underneath the 8 of Jacob Adams, now down into turn 1. 49 trying to dive it down in there. Almost a little bit of contact there between the 49 and the 8, but the 8 will keep the lead.
Yeah, he is. We do know how hard it is to pass here. Oh, someone got a big
wreck
wiggle
on the back stretch.
Caution is out.
Looks like only one car involved, but Matthew Bell spun out in front of the entire field, and that should have collected quite a few more cars. So good job by the drivers to not get anyone else involved in that.
All right, folks, I don't usually do this early, but just so that we can get the paint scheme situated, we're just going to step away just for a brief moment here under this first early caution of the race. So I'll be right back with you, and hopefully that problem will be alleviated.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
Apologies for that, folks, but we are back here, and hopefully the cars will be loading shortly if they have not already. Again, apologies for that, but here we go. That caution has ended. Jacob Adams still is in the lead. Andrew Bird to the outside. We will get started here on lap number 6.
One thing I want to point out real quick before we go back to the green. Cole Begunia dropped from the server before we even took the green and has not gotten back in yet, so it doesn't look like it's even giving him any points for starting this race yet.
We know how quick Begunia is, so this is going to be a big setback for him this early in the season, but regardless of that, the race does go on here. They come through corners number 3 and 4, and we'll get this race going yet again.
Pace car down in pit road, and there goes Jacob Adams already on the throttle. We were back underway here at New Hampshire. 49 of Andrew Bird was able to get a little bit of a better restart that time, and now to the outside of Jacob Adams for the lead.
The outside's usually where you want to be. That inside groove is not very quick. It is lower bank down there. Down the back straightaway, here comes the number 49 to the outside. This is the preferred groove. This is a chance for the lead.
Oh, he's loose, and I saw one car up the track. 24 Thomas Bresci also at the track. I'm not sure if he had some contact there.
Yeah, Bresci has dropped back to about the 5th position right now, so that is not where he wants to be, but he will do the best he can as he falls back into line.
So now Briar LaPrade taking a look to the outside of Andrew Bird for the 2nd position. Now falling back in line down into turn number 3. Once again, taking a look to the outside.
That's where you want to be, but you don't want to get that high on the track. This has allowed Tyler Hensley in the 46 to take a look to the inside, nearly into the wall there off corner number 4. He'll fall back into line.
Jacob Adams starting to pull away just a little bit from that number 49 and the rest of the field. He's about almost 2/10 quicker. Last time by was Adams over Bird.
Now remember, sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not. We are early in the run still, so pushing that car a little bit too hard early in the race may not be the best thing for him. But for the time being, he is up by about 4/10 of a second, so it is obviously working to his favor. We'll see what happens as things progress, but does look like the majority of the field is single file. We'll scroll back a little bit. I see some action in the back of the field. Glenn Bowen to the outside in the purple machine. Looks like he is in a battle with Jacob Adams, and there's contact.
Joshua Adams contact.
Joshua Adams, excuse me. Adams all the way to the inside on the apron. Goes back up the track. Bowen to the outside. Looks like the 88 will prevail, but that was a very good, very close call.
Yeah, I think Adams and Massey are on a little bit better tires than Glenn Bowen. I believe they came down pit stop under that caution. Top 6 have gotten away from the rest of the field. Jeff Wright, the last car in line there.
That's Casey Shue and I believe Robert Kenny. I'm sorry, Bronson Stafford and Robert Kenny side by side. That is for the 7th position. And doing this, it is possible to run side by side here, but it is so costly on the stopwatch.
Yeah, now Casey Shue taking a look to the outside of that number 10 machine for the 8th position. Kenny's sliding up quite a bit on that number 61 of Bronson Stafford, still side by side for 7th. And a wreck in turn 4, big wreck. Matthew Bell once again.
Go back here on PTR TV replay and see what happened. See, he's battling with Glenn Bowen in the number 70 machine off of corner number 2. See, Bowen's to the inside. Bell takes a look to the inside, and he just dove it in there, and Bowen did not give him space, and trying to ride it on the apron was the 95, and I don't think
Glenn liked that.
And then who is that? Simon Thorns just. Yeah, well, Bell. I mean, Evan, can we take off our politically correct hats for a minute? Did Bell had no position whatsoever making that move, from what I can see from the booth.
He took a pretty big dive in there, into the corner, and he wasn't as far left as I think he needed to be. There was a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, Evan's the politically correct guy. I just flat said how it was, whether I'm correct or not, but I definitely don't think he had position. That's the nature of New Hampshire. It's heavy braking. You will see guys going for the dives here, as we do have pit stops on lap number 13.
It looks like pretty much all the field coming down pit road. About 13 laps on most of these tires, but probably, what, about 6 or 7 of those were under green?
And track position is very vital here, so... But at the same time, even though track position is vital, it is hard to pass tires, especially with a small field. It's not too much of a gamble in us just taking these tires while everyone else is. So see if maybe there's any 2-tire stops. I don't expect there to be, but there it is.
One. Bronson Stafford taking 2 tires. He will come out in the lead, and also Taylor Hensley had a pretty good pit stop. I believe he did take 4. Yes, he did, but he's up to the 3rd position now.
14.1 for Hensley. That bumps him up a couple spots from where he was running. So while we have a little bit of the opportunity to do so, I think we can go over your point standings quickly, let you know how things have progressed after 3 races in the season. Briar LaPrade is the points leader right now by 4 points over Nick Massey. Actually, I'm going to take that back, because I am reading the points from last season. That's not what you want.
Yeah, that is definitely not what you want. So Bronson Stafford looks like is leading the points over Shane Tarian by 1 point, but Tarian, he has not started tonight. So that's going to drop him pretty far back. Robert Kinney in the 3rd position, Ryan Hartz in 4th, and Briar LaPrade in 5th. Top 5 separated by only 12 points.
Yeah, there we go. It's fun. It's funny how the results are more accurate when you're looking at the current year standings.
But it looks like Cole Begunia has connected back into the server, so he will come out on track probably 16 or so laps down.
Yeah, so he will most likely just be running just to be able to get minimum points for participating in the race, so not the start he needed. He already missed a race, so he's back 10th in the standings, and obviously another poor finish is not going to help his hopes out.
So Corey, how do you think 2 tires are going to do up on that number 61? He is the points leader. Think it's a little early to take the gamble, or what do you think?
I don't think it's that bad of a call, in all honesty. As I said, we know how hard it is here at Loudon. We haven't run too many actual green flag laps, so I really
probably only like 7 green flag laps on those left sides, so we'll see.
And I don't know what the exact conditions are in terms of how these cars are driving tonight, but we know sometimes it is very tight here, and a little bit of older left side tires will not hurt that cause. So here we are in a corner number 3 and 4 to get this race underway. Leader choosing the outside lane again. 61 is the control car. Jacob Adams to the inside. Take it away for the restart, Evan.
Getting ready to come out of turn number 4 now is the pace car and the rest of the field. Bronson Stafford will be leading this field back to the green. And there goes the pace car, now waiting on Stafford, and there he goes. We're back underway here at New Hampshire. It looks like he will clear for the lead. So now the battle is for second.
Yeah,
now Jacob Adams taking a dive down into turn 1, trying to get underneath that number 61, who is on 2 tires. Now out of turn number 2, looks like Jacob Adams should get a pretty good run. Nope, pretty even.
Well, we're wrecking on the back straightaway.
Thomas Bresci around on backstretch. No caution yet. He's down below the, he's down in the grass, so I do not believe there will be caution for that. Yeah, he has gotten it back going.
Yeah, we saw that the other day in rivalry racing at Darlington. The track limits are not dictated down there, so that did not bring out a yellow, but up front, still the 8 is trying to make a pass on the 61. I think he's going to do it this time. Bronson goes way too high up the speedway. It'll open the door for him and a couple other drivers to go through.
Yep, Jacob Adams now once again back in the lead. The 46 Tyler Hensley now trying to get through to second. There he goes. He will clear that 61. 61 a little bit loose down into turn number 3. That's going to allow the 49 to get by him as well. And now Briar LaPrade looking for that spot.
Looks like there may have been some wall contact from somebody there off corner number 4. I think it was the 61. He may not have been, but Coming into turn number 3, the 19 still trying to get on the bottom of the racetrack. We know how difficult it is. Jeff Wright in the 5. Right behind this, a little bit of internet issues with the 5 machine.
We had a little bit of a battle for the lead. Tyler Hensley is taking a look to the outside of Jacob Adams through 1 and 2. Now backing off down the back straightaway, now down into turn number 3. And it looks like Adams is starting to pull away again. But side by side for 4th, Ronson Stafford up there on the outside of Brian LaPrade. Down into turn number 1. Looks like LaPrade will clear 4th position.
Will there be a little bit of a crossover perhaps? Will he get to the outside? He will not have enough grip to be able to make that move stick, so he will have to hang on to that position he's currently in, but has a little bit of a gap back down to Jeff Wright now.
Cole Begunia is now back out on track. He is in 18th, 16 laps down.
Yep, so this is going to be a very difficult night for Begunia to keep the motivation to come and chug more laps, but that's what you have to do sometimes when you're going for a championship.
But Matthew Bell just went behind the wall. He is done, so that'll be a position for Begunia as well as Chuck Sweeting. It looks like he may have dropped from the server as well, so Begunia might be able to pick up at least 2 spots here.
Yeah, currently 15 drivers running on the speedway right now. Thomas Bressy, do not know why Thomas Bressy's car is not loading for the scheme, so apologies to Thomas for that white machine. I do not know what else I can do to alleviate that problem, but he is cruising back in the 15th position still.
Side by side for 5th. Now the 5, Jeff Wright backing off a little bit. He is blinking quite a bit. So now Robert Kenny to the outside of Wright, and he will get the position now, setting his sights on the 61 of Bronson Stafford.
Yeah, he is having massive connection issues. Is the 5 machine. That's going to make it very hard for everybody else to drive along and race him. But Nick Massey gets by in the 48. He is right to the bumper of the 4 of Casey Shue. We'll take a little bit of a peek to the underneath, but nothing doing yet.
Bronson Stafford way too high through turns number 1 and 2. That's going to allow Robert Kenny to get underneath, and now down into turn number 3. Kenny's going to try and take a dive. Nope, not quite, but it looks like the 61 is really sliding up the hill through these corners.
Yeah, the Larson line isn't really recommended here at Loudon, but he's I think he's running it not due to his own choice. I think those 2 tires are maybe starting to give up on him already.
Oh, Robert Kenny sideways into turn 1. He saves it, but it loses a little bit of time to that 61 and 4.
Yeah, the 4 Casey Shue took a look to the outside, but the gap was already closed. But here he comes still to the outside, actually, of Kenny. He's still in that position. Kenny's going to dive into the inside, try to slide up the track in front of the 4, but he's not going to have the position to do so, but he's going to do it anyways.
Looks like Kenny will clear for that position. Still there in 6th, but we got a little bit of a battle for the lead starting to shape up. Tyler Hensley has taken a few looks to try and get around Jacob Adams, but has not been able to get by him quite yet.
Well, he got a really good run off of corner number 2 that time. Gained a little bit of time entering corner number 3, but the question is, and the problem we have here at Loudon is, how do you pass?
Hensley is definitely faster right now, but like you said, Corey, I don't know if he's going to be able to get by him without either dooring him up the track or putting the bumper to him, which is so hard to pass cleanly.
He tried to take a look to the outside. It's one of the few clean tactics you can make, is if you can get to the outside, force your competitor into the flatter inside groove. That'll put him at the detriment and allow you to go around the outside, but it's very difficult to get yourself in that position.
Hensley is getting really good runs out of the corners, especially out of turn number 4. But now Adams looks like he got a little better run that time by.
Yeah, without your competitor making a mistake, really the only way you can do something is, like you said, Evan, you almost have to, you're going to have to get him entering the corner, or you're going to have to door him up the track in the center. I mean, it's really hard to genuinely make a clean pass here unless you are just a second faster than your competitor.
I don't know if it's going to be like this here in the Cup cars, but I know in Xfinity cars, these cars are really, the Xfinity cars were really sensitive to bumps on this track. Like if you just gave someone a little bit of a tap into the corner, they were Tokyo drifting the whole corner.
How do you know that, Evan? Do you have any experience with it?
Yeah, a couple times. Once by my teammate who's up here in the booth, Corey Silly, he gave me a little bit of a shot into the corner. He barely tapped me, and I should have wrecked, but I didn't somehow.
But as a little bit of prerequisite to that story, which is what we're dealing with right now, how many laps was I behind you, and how many times did I try to make a clean pass?
We don't talk about that, Corey.
The answer to that question is I was behind him for at least 15 laps, and I tried everything I had in the book to get by. And
It's
I
like 20 laps.
Yeah, even more. But I lost my patience, and ultimately that is what caused me to lose patience and use the bumper.
And you didn't even hit me that hard. You just barely gave me a tap into the corner, and I went completely sideways.
Yeah.
And that happened to me twice in that race.
We do have a
only once from Corey.
We do have a side-by-side battle going on. The 61 of Bronson Stafford, he lost the spot to Nick Massey, who was able to make a genuine pass. But remember, the 61 is not on the same tires as everybody else.
So now Massey through to the 5th position. Side by side a little bit further behind them, the 10 of Robert Kinney and Joshua Adams. Side by side for the 7th position.
Stafford is still running the Larson line in 1 and 2. He's not something that you expect to see at Loudon, but he's done it more than once.
It's not really working out for him, so I don't know why he keeps going up there.
I don't know if he's doing it on purpose or not, or if he's maybe just messing up his braking point, but
Joshua Adams through to the 7th position. Robert Kinney trying to take a look back underneath them. And Joshua Adams a little too high through 1 and 2, it looks like, but we'll see if he can get the run out of turn number 2. Yes, he will, but not quite going to be enough to clear.
Is he going to be able to? Kenny's going to take a one last ditch effort to see if he can get down there, and he is down there on the inside, but you can't get any kind of momentum off corner exit running the inside groove. That's going to open the door for Shu in the 4 trying to fill the gap in, but I think the 10 should be able to cut that nose off.
Yes, he will. Shu not quite able to get to his quarter panel, but Kenny taking another look underneath Adams. Adams a little high through 1 and 2. I don't think he'll be able to get there, but he did get a run off the corner. Kenny really loose out of turn number 2.
That will definitely open the door for Shu, who is indeed filled that gap in.
Oh, almost contact there. Sorry to cut you off.
Kenny's going to wash him up the track just a little bit to try to keep any kind of momentum he can, but it's still not going to work. Shu will take the spot and move into 8th.
Yeah, I thought Kenny was going to wash up into him twice there, but nice job by him to not get into him.
Simon Thorns is side by side with Thomas Bressie in the 24. And again, apologies, folks. I've tried everything in the book, as you could tell. I could not get Thomas Bressie's car to load the paint scheme. So unfortunately, he is going to be the Casper of today's race.
I heard Thomas Bressie just shifting to get by the 57 Simon Thorns. He went down into 3rd gear.
I mean, that is something we've heard of on some of these tracks. Not overly common, not very easy to do, but there are drivers that can make it work. But up front, Adams has been able to kind of hold about a 0.4 of a second lead. And I'm not sure if we mentioned it before, but we'll mention it now. If not, the stage is on lap number 45. So when the 10th place car concludes and completes their lap number 45, we will have a caution flag.
Yeah, it's about 11 laps until that caution.
Big wiggle from Hensley off of corner number 2, loses a little bit more time.
Yeah, but Hensley still has a pretty good gap back to the 49 of Andrew Bird. Hensley's just kind of in his own little world there, trying to catch back up to Jacob Adams.
Yeah, and Andrew Bird had a little bit of issue off corner number 4 there, kind of got into the wall just a little bit. He is about 2 seconds off your leader. LaPrade back in the 4th spot is a little over about 3 1/3 seconds back. Then we have Nick Massey running in 5th. He is 5 seconds off the lead. Bronson Stafford in the battle right now still with Josh Adams. This is 7 1/4 seconds, almost 7 1/2 seconds off the lead. Robert Kenny, 8 1/2 back. Casey Shu, almost 9 seconds back. Jeff Wright, I'm not going to switch to his car because he's blinking, but he's 9 1/4 seconds off the lead. Rusty Capel is about 10 seconds back. Glenn Bowen about 10 1/2. Thomas Bressie about 11 seconds off the lead. So, and then we have Simon Thorns 13 seconds back, and Cody Tabor still running out there right now, 17 seconds, and that is your lead lap.
Side by side for the 8th position now, Robert Kinney on the outside, Casey Shu diving underneath him down into turn 3. Kinney will clear for the moment. We'll see here out of turn number 4 if Casey Shu will be able to get back to him. Nope, not quite.
Nope, he did try his hardest though, but nothing is working for him. So I'm sorry, that is Thomas Bressi looking underneath Glenn Bowen for position right now, entering corner number 2. Washes up the track just a little bit. Looks like he will clear. I think Bowen may have yielded the spot there on the back straightaway for Bressi.
So now Bressi going to be setting his sights on that number 9 of Rusty Cable. Out of 4, Bressi getting a pretty good run. He should be able to catch back up to that number 9.
Yeah, that gap is, actually, he's already there. So let's see what kind of pass he can make on Capel.
And didn't Bressi spin out?
He did.
On this run? And he's up to 11th?
Yeah, and he
almost about to get stage points?
Yeah, and there was no caution flag for his issue either. Let's take one more stab at it, folks. Let's do another refresh here. The scheme's trying to get Bressi's scheme to load. Whether it does or not is out of my control, but again, I am trying, folks.
Bressi was actually a little bit quicker than Adams by 1,000th of a second, but still quicker.
Yep, so we are about 5 laps away from the stage. Adams has pulled away to what is now about a second lead, about 9/10 to be exact right now, on lap number 41, so he seems to be the car to beat tonight.
So now about 4 laps to go in this stage. Jacob Adams and Taylor Hensley still staying about the same gap.
So if this seems to be the case, it looks like we are pretty well strung out. Other than the back of the pack, they still are running very close together from about 7th on back, but your top drivers in the field seems to all be in their own little bubble right now. Stafford on those 2 tires has only dropped back to 6th. It may be 7th if Adams cannot manage to get by, because he is all over the back of him, but he has been for a while with no success.
And now he should get a pretty good run out of turn 4. Yes, he will, almost to the left rear quarter panel of that number 61 machine. But Stafford will get the run out of turn 4 and pull away from Adams. Now down into turn 1. Adams once again taking a look underneath him. Way down on the flat is Adams, but it worked.
Yeah,
he's side by side down the backstretch.
Yeah, he found a little bit of grip down there, getting all the way to that inside groove near and below the yellow line, as Stafford goes a little bit too high in corner number 4. Again, with the look to the inside is the 88, but typical Loudon syndrome, could not get the run off corner exit.
Bressi now getting by Casey Shue for the 9th position. Not quite. Casey Shue trying to fight back, but it looks like Bressi should get the position. Yes, he will. Maybe. Just barely clear is the 24.
He's going to dive it on in, and he will do that. He'll dive it in. Here comes Shue trying to fill the gap in on the outside. He's going to get the right rear corner pedal there, and he will not be able to hold it, though, off corner exit. And the stage should be coming out at the end of this lap.
So now Thomas Bressi trying to get by Robert Kenney for an extra stage point. And Joshua Adams and 61 of Bronson Stafford once again side by side, but Adams got loose out of 2, so that's going to allow the 61 to stay clear.
And this is for one more point. The caution should come out when Casey Shue gets across the line, very near so afterwards. But here they come off for the 9th and 10th position, and we're going to give the 9th spot to Robert Kenney, and that should be the caution. There it is.
Yellow is out. Casey Shue brought home that final stage point.
And the stage victory in the associated playoff points go to Jacob Adams, who was about a little over a second ahead there, showing some domination in that number 8 machine. Still currently, as of this caution, we have 15 drivers on the lead lap, and it will remain that way. The only other driver getting the lucky dog would be Cole Bagunia, who is multiple laps down at this point.
So Cole, all he needs is 16 cautions, and he'll be back on the lead lap.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't put too much bet money on that, personally.
Yeah, he might get another 2 or so laps back, but I don't think he's going to get all 16. I highly doubt that.
Yeah, I don't even think the mathematics would support it, to be honest. But here we are down pit lane here, lap number 47, I do believe, on the board right now. And I don't expect 2 tires from anybody at this juncture in the race, so we will see what happens as they come down pit road. Rusty Cable staying on the track, assuming to lead a lap.
But we saw with Bronze and Stafford that 2 tires really didn't work too badly, so maybe we'll see the call like that at the end of the race. But it looks like Tyler Hensley should get the race off of pit road.
Yep, Hensley indeed does get that race off pit road. So let's give us a brief moment here. We'll be back for a commercial break, so we'll be back with you for the restart, so stay with us.
When I was 16 years old, I was working at a Goodyear tire store, and my boss actually built an old dirt car, street stock Monte Carlo. Went with him one night, fell in love with it. It was a hell of a race, hell of a party, and a big fight afterwards. I was like, this is it for me. It wasn't long after that, I was driving an old 78 Camaro out of the weeds at that guy's farm. We pulled that thing out and made a race car out of it, and away we went.
Welcome back to PTR TV's coverage of the Racers Mind 133 here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Getting ready to come back to the green. They're on the backstretch now. Tyler Hensley getting the lead after a really good pit stop by his pit crew. Now the number 8 of Jacob Adams up there in the second position on the outside as they come into 3 and 4.
Yeah, we will get this race going here in stage number 2. As we come off corner number 4, waiting for the green flag to fly. Pace car is about to take the left-hand turn into pit lane. It does exactly that, waiting for Hensley to get this race underway. And he's on the loud pedal. We're racing in Loudon.
Adams did not get going at all. Jacob Adams, that is. Now the 19 of Bravo Pratt trying to get through to second. Now down into turn number 1. It's like Adams will clear in that number 8 machine, but Pratt is trying to fight back on the bottom.
Yeah, he is, and we know what kind of task that is going to be for him here at Loudon. In that PPG Ford Taurus to the inside, Ford Fusion rather, a little old school right there.
Yeah, it's been a while since they raced the Taurus, Corey.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But it's still side by side for second. Looks like Adams will get the advantage at the stripe.
Oh!
Almost contact.
He took a stab at it, but wasn't able to get a position, but he kind of scared Adams up the track just a little bit, gave the door open to stay on the inside down the back straightaway.
Now down into turn number 3, Pratt will clear, but will Adams be able to fight back on the outside? Yes, he's going to try to. He's back at the right rear quarter panel of that number 19 machine out of turn 4. Well, Pratt's clear, but he got loose out of the corner. Adams right back to this quarter panel.
That's very frustrating for LaPrade. I have to imagine he had him cleared. He made a mistake and he opened the door back up. Still side by side. All of this allowing Hensley to pull away to over a second.
Yeah, still side by side for second and also side by side for the 4th position. And now it looks like LaPrade may clear. Nope, he's going to get loose and slide at track once again. Still side by side for 2nd position.
All of this must be hurting his tires. The longer you stay on the inside, you're putting more wheel into it. You're running on the lower banking. You're scrubbing more and more wear off those tires as he gets loose. Bobs up the track just a little bit, nearly into the 8. This battle's still continuing.
Adams got loose, so that's going to allow LaPrade to clear for the position. And Adams will not be able to fight back on that. Or will he?
Jacob Adams with the power dive to the inside. Gets alongside of him, but will not be able to hold it off corner exit.
But now side by side for the 4th position. Nick Massey currently in possession of it. But the 49 is trying to take that away as he's on the right rear quarter panel. And now Nick Massey has to check up for the number 8 of Adams. 49 gets on the wall a little bit, so that should give a run to the 48.
Yeah, Andrew Bird in the number 49 machine. A little bit of a wall contact there off corner number 2. Here comes Massey to the inside of Adams. Adams not really succeeding too well now that he's in this traffic. Remember how much he pulled away, but he is stuck in this Loudon traffic. We know how difficult it is.
But I wonder how much Tyler Hensley is hurting his tires. Even if he is running a little bit harder than these guys, I can't imagine he's hurting his tires much more since these guys are battling.
Yeah, very good point, Evan. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Here comes Andrew Bird. Will pass Massey to the outside groove. Massey all the way down to the yellow line there on the flat, trying to rebuttal, and he almost clears, but not quite. Bird keeps him side by side off of 4.
So now down into turn 1. Bird with a slight advantage into the corner, but Nick Massey has the 2nd lane. And he will clear, but Bird's going to fight back out of 2 once again. Still side by side down the backstretch.
Now, Evan, is this fun or is this frustrating?
Frustrating. It is not at all fun.
You're trying so hard. You know you're faster than the guy in front of you, but nothing you can do is working. But Thomas Bresci did manage to get that car loaded under the commercial brake there. He is in the 6th position as he has passed Adams and Stafford, I do believe.
Yeah, in that long run, Bresci was running some really, really good lap times. So I wonder if he'll have anything for these leaders up here, as he is already really starting to catch up to that number 48 of Massey.
Yeah, even if he can catch them, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do anything with it, only on the fact that, like I said, we do know how difficult it is to pass, but he is in a better position than he was before.
He was 2/10 quicker than Hensley last time by. Was Bresci.
But unfortunately, there's a 3-second gap in between those 2 machines and 5 cars.
Yeah, that's the more unfortunate part, is that he has 4 cars up there.
Yeah. Here comes Jeff Wright in the 5 in the Kellogg's machine all the way to the inside of Bronson Stafford off corner number 3 and 4. But I don't think that move is going to have any merit or justice to it. He will drop back into line. Robert Kenny is now behind the 5 machine, as both of them all the way up top. They're going to be 3 wide here through the center of 1 and 2.
3 wide through 1 and 2, and it looks like Jeff Wright was blinking out a little bit there when he was in the middle, so that's a very sketchy spot to be in, but Robert Kenny looks like he backed out of that. And Bronson Stafford's still out there in the Larson lane.
Yeah, 3 wide at Loudon doesn't usually work anyways, let alone put someone with an unstable connection in there. But they did manage to get through that situation. Robert Kenny drops right behind right behind Wright, about 3 car lengths back. Glenn Bowen, with all his battling in the number 70 machine, is starting to close in here on this battle.
So now side by side for 5th with Nick Massey and Thomas Bresci. Bresci to the inside of Massey, and he will clear. Just barely. Massey now fighting back on the outside. It's still side by side out of turn 4.
Bresci gave it everything he had entering corner number 3 there. Didn't have anything to it, but takes a little bit of a peek to the inside. Trying to keep any position possible, but just nothing doing. Falls back into line down the back straightaway.
Bresci is for sure faster than all of these drivers up here, but it's just so hard to pass. Now Massey's sliding up the hill a little bit. Bressy's still not going to be able to get by him.
Bressy, a little bit of a wiggle there off corner number 4. That'll cost him a couple miles an hour.
Yeah, Bressy, he's going down in the 3rd gear, so that might give him a little bit more wheel spin off of the corner. But if he does it right, it should also help him get better runs.
We'll go on board here with Bressy, see if we can indeed hear that gear change he's doing. Oh my God!
Diving into the corner on the outside of Massey, as Massey's diving underneath that 49.
Bressy did keep it in 4th gear that time by, but you can see the level of aggression trying to make these passes in whatever means possible.
Yeah, it seems like whenever Bressy gets side by side with someone, that is when he downshifts. But now, side by side in front of him, where will he go? Looks like he's going to try and follow that 48 of Massey. Now he's going out to the outside.
Oh, into the wall.
Yeah, 49 hit the wall, almost into the right front fender, that 48.
48 with the dive to the inside to see if he can clear in the center of the turn. That will not happen. 49 will try to get the run through the center and off, but actually I'm going to take that back. Massey was able to clear. Can Bressy take advantage as well? Yeah,
Bird had a bobble out of 4, so that's going to allow Bressy to clear before they even get into the corner. Now Bressy goes into the 5th position. Joshua Adams behind them trying to get around that 49 now.
Yeah, now Josh Adams, as you said, is closed in. Glenn Bowen had some issues, is now 1 lap down after a pit stop. Don't know what happened to him, but his race has turned into the negative direction. But here comes Josh Adams underneath the 49 of Andrew Bird. Had to fall back in the line there.
So now will Bressy be able to catch back up to Nick Massey? That is the question.
Haven't missed anything up front. Hensley is out to about a 1.4 second lead over 2nd place Briar LaPrade, but Jacob Adams is under fire. Well, actually is all over the back of the 19, trying to force the 19 into a mistake.
Yeah, I wonder if LaPrade hurt his tires a little bit. He ran on the bottom for quite a while trying to get around that number 8 machine. I wonder if he might have hurt his rear tires a little bit as Adams right to the back bumper through 1 and 2.
This is what he has to do. He has to just stay on his back bumper as long as he can and force him into a mistake. That is the best way to make something happen here at Loudon if you're not going to use the back bumper. But he did take a look to the outside there. Maybe he'll get a little crossover here off of corner number 4. Not quite.
Yeah, looks like Jacob Adams giving him a little bit of a tap in the right rear bumper. Just letting him know he was there and he wanted by.
Yeah, he's right there. He's getting impatient. What we were talking about earlier, having drivers being behind someone for so many laps. I mean, you want to be clean as you can, but eventually you just you hit your breaking point.
And sometimes you don't hit your breaking point.
Well, I would love to be one. Oh, that was. How did you do that? That was good.
I'm learning from you, Corey.
Yeah, but that was better than anything I could come up with. It's like your Jimmy Johnson. You took advice from Jeff Gordon and then started being better than him.
But side by side for a second. Nope, not quite anymore.
Whoa, he dives it off in the grass.
Joshua Adams in the grass on the backstretch.
That will not cue a caution because he had it. He got off of the speedway.
Looks like he got into the 49 a little bit and then somehow avoided all contact with the inside wall and tires.
I think the 49 actually got a little bit loose and pushed him down, if anything there, I do believe. But still, big wiggle from the 8 there off corner number 2 while he was side by side. That puts him back into line. He'll have to regroup and try to take another stab at it, and here he goes already.
Now Nick Massey trying to catch up to this 8 and 19's battle, and he is doing just that. Well, if these guys keep battling, he'll be there in a few laps. He's running in at least 2/10 quicker per lap.
And then look who else is back here. The 24 is not too far behind Nick Massey to make the battle for second. The battle to watch on the racetrack is Tyler Hensley is just driving off into his own zip code right now.
It seems like Massey and Brest are actually quicker than Hensley. And so is LaPrade and Adams whenever they can get clean track and not be battling.
Yeah.
See, LaPrade was a 10th better than Hensley last time by.
Now we'll bring up the lap graphic right here, and Very true point, Evan. About a tenth faster. 31.26 for LaPrade to a 31.35 for Hensley.
And LaPrade was actually better than anyone else on the top 5.
Did manage to gain that 1/10. We'll leave it up on the screen right now so we can watch it refresh as they cross the stripe this time by. And it's a 31.38 to actually that time by.
9,000 slower-ish, I believe, for LaPrade.
But the 48 faster by a tenth than anybody that last lap.
It's just so hard to be consistent at this track.
Especially, Evan, we haven't talked about it yet today. We talk about it every week, though. The dynamic track must be coming into play. These drivers must be feeling the heat and the rubber going into this racetrack.
LaPrade with a big wiggle out of turn number 4. Didn't lose too much time to Jacob Adams, though. But Adams taking a dive down into turn 1, almost to his quarter panel.
See, he's getting to the inside there below the rubber, trying to get into that cooler part of the track. Maybe there's a tiny bit of grip down there for him to use. Gained a little bit of time as we come into 3 and 4. We'll see what he does here.
Adam is still running a little bit lower than LaPrade, but not as low as he was through 1 and 2 caution.
Joshua Adams, this time he is backwards off corner number 2.
Yeah. And it looks like did he just get loose by himself?
We'll go
So
back.
he just got on the throttle on the back end, came around and backed it into the wall.
We're watching him in turn 1 right now through the center of 1 behind Glenn Bowen in the 70, and he's on the throttle off corner number 2, and it just went around on him, and he did make pretty good contact with the turn 2 wall.
So everyone's probably going to come down pit road now, and they should be good on fuel to make it to the end, I do believe.
Yeah, I think that's about right. We have eclipsed the halfway point in this race, so these drivers will have less and less laps to get in the positions they need to be for the end. But everyone down pit road right now, it's assuming for 4 tires and fuel. Saw Tyler Hensley have a really good stop last time by. We'll see if it is able to be replicated, or maybe somebody else in the top 5 will be able to jump ship and get a better lap time.
Get a better lap time?
Get a better pit road time, rather. Here we come. Drivers exiting their pit stalls, and Brian LaPrade. 14.6.
Hensley, I believe, got a speeding penalty, Corey. Maybe not.
Well, he had a 15.3 second stop, which was the slowest of anybody in the top 5.
It's just I saw you let Jacob Adams by.
Yeah, he may have had the run out of pit lane, but he may not have gotten to the cone before Jacob Adams, so he had to give back that position per what the order was at the cone.
Yeah, well, Hensley's staying in that 3rd position.
Yeah.
So he lost 2 spots.
Like I said, Evan, he had the slowest pit stop of anybody in the top, really, the slowest stop of anybody in the top 9. Everybody in the top 10, everybody in the top 8, 9 had pretty much stops in the 14s. Actually, Bronson Stafford had a stop in the 13s, but a 15.3 for Hensley. That pretty much just takes back the great pit stop he had on the prior caution.
So the good news, only 14 laps down, though. He's making progress.
Slowly but surely. I mean, actually,
there's 14 more cautions. He'll be back in the lead lap and back in contention.
We're in the Midwest Power Source Cup Series for the Hardline Racing League here at Loudon for race number 3 of their 2018 campaign here tonight. We had 16 drivers rather take the grid. Actually, 15 take the grid. Cole Begunia did join a little bit late, so there still currently are 16 drivers in the race right now, as we do have 1 to go, 15 of those drivers being on the lead lap.
So Bravo Pratt, I believe this is his first time leading laps tonight, and then Jacob Adams once again restarting up there in the outside of the front row.
But interesting call, Evan LaPrade. Remember, we had Adams take the outside a couple times. LaPrade choosing the inside lane on this initial restart.
I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal since these drivers can go wherever they want, whenever they want. Most of the time they are cleared by the time they get to the corner.
So we'll see if that is what happens here as we come through 3 and 4. The 19 is the control car for the first time tonight. Pace car comes off of turn number 4 and into pit lane. We wait for the 19 to get on the loud pedal, and he does that and gets that exact jump you mentioned, Evan. Green flag in the air.
So yeah, now LaPrade is clear. He can go wherever he wants, but Tyler Hensley trying to get around Jacob Adams for the second position. Looks like there may have been a little bit of contact there from Hensley to Adams, but now Bronson Stafford to the outside of Hensley.
Down the back straightaway they come. Hensley on the inside, Stafford to the outside. You'd think Tyler Hensley was on water right now because he sailed it off in there at corner number 3. Pushes Stafford up the track just a little bit.
Around, middle of the pack.
And that will...
No one hit him, I don't believe. He just did a 360.
But that will bring out the caution flag yet again. You can see here, entering corner number 3, Kenny to the inside. Just got him in the center of the corner. Straight in the left rear, and everybody else, Glenn Bowen actually made some contact with him.
Yeah, but still, he was not too bad off there.
On board with Glenn Bowen, got in the back of the 57 and then clipped the 4, so double whammy for the 70 there.
I don't think anyone will be coming down pit road. So if you guys further back are probably to get maybe some damage fixed or something.
Yep.
Like Rusty Capel, Robert Kinney.
Yep, Bowen and
Shoe.
And we haven't mentioned Cody Tabor's still on the racetrack. We know he usually bails off for administrative reasons, but Cody Tabor's still turning laps here tonight in the 2 machine. So with that caution being out, we're going to step away side by side here on PTR TV. So we'll be right back with you for the restart.
You know, I think a driver has more to do with the equation going back and racing dirt, whether it's a modified, a late model. You can do more with the race car. You know, the harder you drive it, a lot of times, the better it goes. You can crawl up on that wheel and feel like you made the difference at the end of the night. Asphalt car, you can't overdrive them. That was the first thing that I had to learn right off the bat is, oh my gosh, I've got to discipline myself, not overdrive this thing, and that's how you get the most out of it. Truth be told, communicating the right information to your crew and your crew chief so they can do their job and make their appropriate adjustments for you to go faster and do your job is probably 90% of the game in our world. I've always loved late models. You know, my dream was to be a late model driver driving for a living across the country like Daryl and Don do that drive for me. I mean, that was, truth be told, that was my dream, you know. I always wanted a semi. I always wanted a stacker trailer with 2 hot rods in it and let's go racing. Let's take off with your buddies and go race and chase that dream. Never in a million years did I think it would turn into a Cup Series, and I actually have an opportunity to own 2 you know, dirt late model teams. When you think of iRacing, you don't think of a video game. It's not. It's way above and beyond any of that. You know, dirt racing changes so much. The track changes so much. Being able to capture that, to, you know, experience all those details that surround dirt racing and make dirt racing what it is what makes iRacing so cool, because they did nail all of that. I knew when they came to our shop and scanned cars and went to the detail of getting that car right, I knew that it was going to be over the top, because it blew my mind just the work that went into making sure the car itself was legit. This sport has been around a long time. The competition can't be replaced, and that's what brings people back to the racetrack week in and week out.
And we're back here on PTR TV on the back straightaway getting ready for this restart here tonight. We have about 50 laps to go in this race as we come into corner number 3 and 4. Evan, take it away for the restart.
Briar LaPrade leading this field back to the green. Jacob Adams to his outside. Tyler Hensley will be restarting right behind LaPrade, and Bronson Stafford to his outside. Coming out of turn number 4 now, waiting for the pace car to pull down into pit road. There it goes, waiting on LaPrade. And there he goes after a shot from Hensley. He went, and he got a pretty good jump over the 8 of Jacob Adams.
Yes, he did. He got about a 2-car length lead entering corner number 1. Adams is going to dive it on in there, trying to get that position back. Not able to, but they will be side by side still for 3rd.
Yeah, Tyler Hensley looks like he will clear just barely over that 61 machine down into turn 3. He will not come up in front of him, though, so 61's going to dive it into the corner to get back to his outside.
Yeah, this 46 is trying to...
Oh, contact. 61 on the wall.
46 rather tried to sneak up there and shut the door and close and get that position, but he was not able to do so. Nearly was catastrophic, but now he's stuck to the inside. Thomas Bressi, the 24, trying to stay on the outside of him.
Bressi maybe got in the wall just a little bit, but that really slowed him down. So now Hensley should be able to get up in front of him and hold on to 4th position, but Bressi's going to try and fight back up there on the outside.
Yeah, if he can get there, the right rear quarter panel on corner exit, that is the prime position. He's not able to do so, so he will fall back in line, but he is side by side with Nick Massey all the while. Yeah,
Massey now down to the inside of Bressi for the 5th position, I believe. And just in front of them, Hensley and Bronson Stafford side by side for 3rd.
Yes, they are still. Hensley is working to the inside. He's going to door him up the track. That was a very aggressive move by the fly. Let's just double check that before we make any judgments. But let's see here. That just looked like a. I think he just.
Hensley got tight and came up
all the way to the inside.
But Stafford got a bit loose too. But I think even if Stafford didn't get loose, they would have had contact.
Yes, we'll call that.
And then Stafford got put in the wall again by, I'm trying to see who that is that hit him. Actually, he just got loose by himself.
Yeah, so just chain of events not working in the favor of the 61. Lost 5 positions in about 2 laps as he is now potentially losing another spot to Andrew Bird. But here comes Thomas Bressi. He took a look underneath the 48 of Massey, and he'll do it again in turn number 3.
Massey getting held up just a little bit by Hensley, maybe out there on that side of the lane, but it looks like he should be able to clear out of turn number 4. Bressy's still just barely at his quarter panel, and it looks like he should slide up behind him. Yes, he will.
Bressi not giving up, though. Takes another look to the inside in corner number 1, but he will have to fall back in line. Jeff Wright in the 5 trying to close in on Bressi here, and he got a really good run, so add another car to this battle.
Bressi once again taking a dive underneath that 48 of Massey. Almost a little bit of contact there. Good job by those drivers to avoid that. Now Massey getting a pretty good run out of 4. We'll see Willie try and take a dive underneath that number 46 of Hensley down into turn 1. Looks like Hensley going to get a little bit loose, but not going to hurt him too much, if at all.
Battle for the lead is shaping up while all this is going on. The 19 of Briar LaPrade hanging on by just a feather over Jacob Adams, who is really driving it in deeper, but it does look like LaPrade's getting off the corners better.
Side by side for the 8th position. These drivers are beating and banging the 49 of Andrew Bird and Bronson Stafford. They just had a little bit of contact in the 3. I don't know if these drivers are too happy with each other right now.
I don't know if it's thought that they're happy with each other, or if everyone is just out of patience now. I think it's kind of a combination of all ends of the spectrum right here, but
out of patience and out of grip,
which is even leading to less patience.
Exactly.
Here comes Bressi, still working on Massey, who is still working on Hensley. Jeff Wright is joining the battle, and also Joshua Adams. Remember, he was one of the cautions we had with a spin off corner number 2. He is closing in on these drivers as well.
Yeah, good recovery by Joshua Adams. Back up to the 7th position, and now trying to get by Jeff Wright. But Tyler Hensley and Nick Massey are side by side, and Hensley with a huge dive into turn number 3. He's going to slide at the track. Will he keep the position? No, he will not.
Yeah,
Massey will clear. Now Bressie will get to his outside.
Yeah, Bressie will dive in on the outside trying to get that position. It's not going to happen. Jeff Wright trying to close on Bressie. He needs to watch out because 24 has the 5 to worry about while he's trying to make this pass on the 46. So we have
Jacob Adams still behind that number 19 for the lead. I think Adams is a little bit quicker, but you just cannot get up to him or get by him.
Yeah, that is definitely what the situation is. He's doing everything he needs to do to run cleanly. He just is in a situation where, I mean, it's just the nature of the track. We know how difficult this place is, and it is proving through. So right now the battle on the track that is the one to watch is for the 4th position. Tyler Hensley, Thomas Bressie, Jeff Wright, and now Joshua Adams. They are 4th through 7th at the moment. Coming off corner number 2, Bressie with a big slide into the wall. Carries on.
Bressie was really sideways there, but I don't think he ever lifted off the throttle.
Yeah, I don't think he did either. The 5 kind of washes up the track just a little bit. Now Joshua Adams into the wall as the 5. Adams not able to take advantage.
Now Nick Massey starting to pull away from this battle of 4th on back, and he's starting to run a little bit quicker than our leaders.
Yeah, as we'll take a look here as the laps tick away, we'll see who is indeed the fastest of the top 3.
Massey.
Yeah, Massey by about 6 1/1000ths was faster than LaPrade. He does have about a 1.7 second deficit he needs to eliminate, but once those two drivers, if they do up front start battling, that will allow Massey to close in on them rapidly.
Now Jeff Wright taking a look underneath Bressie as Bressie is taking a look underneath that 46 of Hensley. Neither driver able to stay side by side.
Now, Evan, something that is worth noting, we talked about with the 75% fuel load here at Loudon, we estimate maybe about 50-ish laps on fuel. If that is the case and our estimates are anywhere near accurate, we're going to have a very tight fuel situation at the end of this race.
Yeah, we have, what, probably about 34, 35 laps to go right now.
And that'll put them at about a 60-lap run to the end, about 58 or so laps to the end. So that is, I believe, we don't have an entire confirmation. I believe that's going to be a very close call.
And close battle for the lead now. Jacob Adams took a look underneath that 19 for the lead out of turn 2. Lost a little bit of ground now into turn number 3. Right to the back bumper once again.
While that's going on there, still Thomas Bressie is still trying to get the 4th position away. Still unsuccessful on that number 24. Entering corner number 1, they're both running the exact same line. Actually, Hensley runs a little bit higher that time. Bressie is looping it in the bottom lane, trying to see if that helps him out, but nothing doing this time by. And again, up front, another little look to the inside for the 8 machine.
Adams up to the door, number 19. It looks like he should get the run out of 4. Yeah, side by side down the front stretch. 19 getting the run, so he will clear once again for the lead, but Adams is still right there.
Yeah, he fell on back behind the number 19 machine, but he is not done yet. He is really making that lower groove work. Still all over the back bumper of Brian LaPrade.
Now Nick Massey is starting to close in on these drivers for the lead.
This could be a 3-way battle for the win here at Loudon, as there's going to be 31 laps to go this time by. Still, the gap is about 0.2 of a second. It has been that for the better part of the last 30 laps since this caution. Jacob Adams, remember, he dominated, was up by about 1.5 seconds before the stage. After the stage, he lost his position in the pits, has never been able to get the lead back. This is the hardest he's had to fight for a position tonight, and it is for P1.
Jacob Adams is really playing around with his line. He's kind of running high, then cutting down to the bottom on exit. It's working for him, definitely. He's running a lot higher than LaPrade, and then we'll see there he cuts down all the way down to the yellow line out of turn 2.
Yeah, he's trying everything he has, and nothing has worked yet. He's had a couple opportunities. He's trying as clean as possible. Runs a little bit lower through corner number 3 and 4, seeing if he can pull alongside off corner exit. He will not pull alongside, but still all over the back bumper. Actually, LaPrade pulls away by a little bit.
Yeah, Adams did not get the exit out of turn number 4 that he wanted, but taking a dive down into turn 1. Now Adams to the quarter panel of LaPrade. LaPrade getting a run out of turn number 2. Once again.
Down the back straightaway, still about a 2-car length lead for the number 19 machine of Briar LaPrade. He's been in front of this race for 28 laps, starting in the 3rd position. So another good run for him, and a big wiggle off of 4. That cost him some momentum, but not enough to allow Adams to get a run.
Adams will see, will he take a dive almost to the back bumper of that number 19 machine through 1 and 2. Out of the corner now, we'll see who can get the run. LaPrade really loose out of 2. It's going to hurt him down the backstretch, but he's still got a pretty good run.
At this point, LaPrade just really has to run his own race. He doesn't even have to really mirror drive at this point. As long as he runs his groove and makes Adams find the alternate way around, he really should be fine. I think he's avoided almost. He's pretty much held off every charge that Adams has been able to offer.
Pretty much, if LaPrade runs his line, I think he's going to get the win unless Adams moves him.
Or if our fuel mileage estimate is right, and this race may end on a fuel mileage strategy.
Yeah, about let's see, about 27 or 28 laps to go now.
That'll be 57 laps to the end. And usually it is about 70 laps on mile racetrack, 70 to 80 laps. So 75% of 80 is, I don't know exactly, but I do know it's very close to 55. So remember the 75% fuel load, so that does,
I believe 75% of 80. I think that'd be 60 laps, I think.
Stop using math. That is about right. So by that logic, they should be fine. But that is assuming 80 laps. And again, I don't think Evan was able to turn any laps today. So I don't have. We haven't talked to any drivers. But just based on prior knowledge, that seems about right. So there's something to keep in the back of our minds as we watch the end of this race.
And our behind-the-scenes guy said that 60 laps is 75% of 80. He confirmed that.
It does make sense, 20, 40, 60, 80. I don't know why I couldn't do that in my head, so. But anyways, and look at, we now have a 3-car battle up front.
Yeah, and Massey was the quickest car last time by, with the top 3 at least. And LaPrade really loose out of 2. That's going to cost him a little bit down the back straightaway.
And the biggest thing he needs to watch out for is not opening the door on corner exit to the outside. Do not give the 8 a chance to your outside. That is his biggest defense he needs to play. Make him pass you on the inside. That is the hard part.
I think I saw someone down on pit road, Glenn Bowen. I don't know. Actually, I think he's been on pit road for a while now. I think he had some damage.
Yeah, I think Bowen is essentially out of the race given the multiple issues he's had.
But Nick Massey right to the back bumper of Jacob Adams for the 2nd position. Adams driving in deep into turn 3. Now Massey going to try and get a run. He's taking a look to the outside of Adams for the 2nd position.
Yeah, all the while Adams was taking a look at on Briar LaPrade. So they were both making moves at the same time. Neither of them worked. There's only 22 laps to go in this race.
22 laps to go. When will we see Adams try and make a move? Will he use the bumper and try and move LaPrade out of the way? We will find out. But Massey's gonna have to get by Adams quick if he wants a shot at LaPrade.
And you have to wonder who's using their tires more right now. Is it Adams trying to get by, or is it LaPrade trying to stay up front?
Adams. Because LaPrade, he can run his line. He can do exactly what he wants to do. He's running a kind of defensive line. He's not really using his tires up too much. Adams, he's having to change his line, and he's driving a lot more aggressively than LaPrade is.
All right, so we'll take that analysis into check. But also Nick Massey, remember how hard he had to drive. Massey had a lot of side-by-side battles in his charge back to the front, so he may not have the best of tires left either.
Now Adams taking a look underneath LaPrade through 1 and 2. Adams to the quarter panel, but LaPrade should get the run out of 2. Yes, he will.
Now Adams needs to watch out for Massey, because if he makes a move, if Adams makes a move on LaPrade, here he comes looking to the outside. That's not going to go anywhere, but it was a very good thought and a good attempt. If Adams makes the wrong move, it may allow Massey to get to his outside and take that spot away from him.
20 laps to go now here at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Looks like we're going to have a good finish on our hands. 20 laps to go. Will there be pit stops? Will there be fuel? Will there be a bump and run? Stay tuned. We don't know what's going to happen, but we are excited to see how it indeed does unfold. 19 laps to go. The 19 car is leading the race. Still big wiggle off of corner number 4.
I think you could say that every single lap, Corey.
Well, that was a bigger wiggle than we have seen, but he did a good job hanging on to it. It's only going to get worse and worse as the tires wear and as the wheel spin gets worse every single lap.
Massey hard on the wall out of turn 2. He lost hold of the ground now to Adams.
As long as
but Adams got a good run out of 4.
Not a good enough run. In fact, it really looks like LaPrade may have pulled away just a bit on corner exit. Here he comes with the big dive on entry and through the center. But unless he gets a really good run, he should not be able to hold it. And no, he cannot.
So will Nick Massey be able to get back up to Adams and LaPrade? We'll find out. I think he's going to get back there. He's starting to inch his way back there.
Yeah, right now Massey has dropped back 3/4 of a second, which is a little bit of time, but especially if the 19 and the 8 start battling yet again, he should be able to eat that gap up relatively quickly as another charge by the 8 on the inside.
See, Adams just needs to, if he can get good runs off of the corner, he'll be able to get by him, I think. It's just he's having to drive it in so deep to get to his bumper, he can't do anything by the time he gets there.
He needs to back up his turn and get that run on exit. Like you said, don't worry about getting there through the center. Worry about getting the power down, trying to get side by side down the straightaway and take your luck in the next turn.
And Adams driving deep once again into the corner, to the quarter panel of Briar LaPrade. But once again, LaPrade, he's running the higher line. He's backing up his corners. He can get the run off that he needs.
Well, it's only a matter of time as this race fades off. It's been this entire run. The 8 has been trying to get by the 19. No successful attempts so far. But as this race ends, as the intensity ticks up, these guys want the win. When is his patience going to run out? When is he going to make a more aggressive move?
Very soon, I think. And Adams really loose out of the corner. That's going to allow Massey to maybe get to his outside. Adams lost a lot of ground to LaPrade.
He lost about 1/2 of a second, about 4/10 maybe to be exact. Can he get that back? I do think he can. He still has plenty of time, 14 laps.
Snell Massey, will he try and get by Jacob Adams for the second position? He's going to take a look underneath and maybe right to the back bumper. That number 8 machine is the 48.
Now Massey wants to get Adams, but what he doesn't want to do is battle side by side with Adams so long that neither of them can get to LaPrade. Maybe if they use teamwork, if they both are faster than LaPrade, they can both run kind of in tandem and wait to make a move so they can all go for the win.
They are definitely running down LaPrade about a tenth and a half quicker, and Adams is back to his back bumper pretty much.
And Massey followed suit, so again, 3 drivers all within about maybe less than a half second here. There is some lap traffic I did see out of the long shot there that they will have to get around.
Yeah, Simon Thorns is the first one coming up. They should get to him probably in 2 laps or so.
"12 laps to go at New Hampshire." Through the center of the turn, the 19 seemed to be really slow, but he used that to his advantage because he was hard on the throttle, and that allowed him another car length off corner number 2.
Yeah, Adams gets right to LaPrade's back bumper through the corner, but he just cannot hold the speed on the exit of it.
As they do try to get by the 57 machine of Thorns, who will pull out of the way to the inside, hit the brakes, allow the leaders to pass with ease. A very respectable move on his part.
Now Adams right to the quarter panel once again of LaPrade. Out of turn 2, and LaPrade got loose. That allowed Adams to stay fairly close.
Here he comes into corner number 3. He's going to sail it off into the inside, pull side by side. 19 goes up the track just a little bit, but doesn't give him too much room. Down off the corner number 4. Still, 19 stays up front.
This is the closest Adams has been. He's going to send it down into turn number 1. Almost slid up right into the door of that 19, but did keep it off of him.
At this point, I think he's just really testing the waters of how hard do I have to dive it in, when do I have to make my case known and force my way into the lead. He's tried every tactic known to man, every racing tactic that he's ever learned. He's pretty much already used it, and nothing has worked, so I think it's time to take the gloves off.
He's going to have to do that, and there he is. Solo to contact, but did not really upset that 19 much at all.
I don't know how he made that line work for him, but he did that. Still kept the position off corner number 2.
He sends it down into turn number 3. He's going to door him up the track. Maybe not contact, but he did shove him up into that very slick stuff.
Whoa, wiggle! 19!
Goes around. He's going to save it. Maybe.
Kind of.
Yes, he did. Sort of.
We'll go back.
He didn't wreck.
See here, off of corner number 4. He washed him up the track just a little bit and completely separated from that little incident. LaPrade just could not hang on to the wheel spin off corner number 4 and pretty much took the entire front straightaway to gather control of that vehicle. So that will take the 19 out of contention for the win. Now Jacob Adams is ahead by 1 second over Nick Massey, and only 7 laps to go.
Yeah, now the question is, can Massey catch back up to Jacob Adams? I really don't know. I don't think he's going to be able to.
Yeah,
and just coming to 6 laps to go.
Last time by, about a tenth faster was Adams over Massey, and as we come to the stripe this time by, the iRacing cutoff lap, I believe, is this lap. So a caution would have to come out this lap for us to get a 1-lap shootout, and I just don't see that happening.
Massey was about 2/10 slower than Adams last time by.
We still see LaPrade out of the long shot there, struggling to gain control of that car, but we can focus now that that lead battle is over. Thomas Bresci in 5th is under fire from the 88 of Joshua Adams, and the 46 still is in front of Bresci, who's never able to get by him.
Yeah, looks like Hensley is starting to pull away from that number 24 machine now.
Yeah, remember Bresci was trying to get by him for the better part of this last run. We're on 53 laps. I don't think fuel is going to be an issue. We probably would have seen anybody pit already, so perhaps that was not an issue overall. So take one. Well, I guess we'll take one for the team there on not knowing the pit cycles, but. Jacob Adams, he has been in both races this season. He had one top 5, has finished in the top 10 twice this season so far. So this will be his first win if he can go 4 more miles around Loudon. This is his first laps led of the season as well. So really making his statement in the Hardline campaign that he is a force to be reckoned with. Big wiggle from Massey there off corner number 4. That'll allow LaPrade to gain a little bit of time back on him.
Yeah, Breyer, he's been quite a bit quicker than Massey this last few laps. We'll see if he will be able to get back up to him. Two laps to go now for race leader Jacob Adams, and behind them still Massey and LaPrade, but battling for second.
Yeah, I don't think LaPrade is going to have enough time, but he did sail it off in there into corner number 2, trying to gain the time. But let's see if he can hold that position off corner exit. He did appear to do so, so he might have a distant chance at getting Massey. Right to the back bumper is LaPrade. He will take a look, see if he can keep the look off corner number 4. But the white flag is in the air for Jacob Adams as there's a big wiggle from Massey. Here comes LaPrade with a look to the inside in turn number 1.
LaPrade diving it down into turn number 1. Side by side out of 2.
This is a side-by-side battle for the second position. Nick Massey to the outside, LaPrade to the inside. LaPrade sails it on in there and takes the spot. Will there be a crossover? Does it not look like there's going to be one? But up front, coming off corner number 4, the 8 machine, Jacob Adams, win the racer's mind, 133 at New Hampshire. And LaPrade, with that last second pass, gets the second spot. Nick Massey will fall to 3rd. So we want to offer our congratulations to Jacob Adams here. We're going to kind of change up the post-race order here on PTR TV. We're going to jump right to interviews here, get the post-race show started right away. So let's give us a little bit of time here. While we are waiting for these drivers to collect with us here today on the broadcast, let's bring you the final rundown here from New Hampshire. With the victory tonight, we saw Jacob Adams lead 52 laps and take the checkered flag. Brian LaPrade with the second, Nick Massey in 3rd. Thomas Bressy finished 4th. Joshua Adams in 5th. Tyler Hensley in 6th. Bronson Stafford took home a 7th place finish. Then rounding out the top 10, Andrew Bird, Jeff Wright, and Casey Shue.
And then Robert Kinney came home in the 11th position. Rusty Cable in 12th. Simon Thorns in 13th. Cody Tabor in 14th. Glenn Bowen in 15th, Cole Boguni in 16th, Matthew Bell in 17th, Chuck Sweet in 18th, and then Shane Therrien did not start this race.
So those are the finishing results here. I do believe we have all 3 drivers ready for interview. So I will talk to the 3rd place finisher of Nick Massey.
The first half, I ran you guys down.
Sorry, Nick.
Sorry.
Caught you a little off guard there, but talk about your finish today, man. You finished 3rd here at New Hampshire, and looks like you had 2nd for a while, but couldn't quite hang on to it. We know how hard it was to pass here at Loudon. Just talk about how your race went overall.
Yeah, I started 5th place, and this track position is so important here, and I could just never get the track position on the restart, so I was always, kind of trying to work my way up, and eventually we got a long run there towards the end, and I worked my way up to 5th and then 3rd. And I ran Breyer and Jake down there the last stint there, and then I got within a second of them, and then all of a sudden, my car got really loose off the corner, and I was, had trouble hanging with them there towards the end. So I wanted to give them a run for their money, but it was interesting in the end. Congrats to Jake.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought finish here today. You almost had that 2nd, but we know how hard it is here at New Hampshire. You slipped to the 3rd. Nothing worth complaining about. Still a great run, man. Who do you want to give a shout-out to?
Shout out to my teammate Jake for the win tonight. Shout out to Josh, and Shane couldn't make the race tonight because he's having computer issues, but wish he could have been here. And shout out to you guys too for putting on the broadcast.
All right, thanks for that, man. Congrats, Nick, on your 3rd place finish.
Thanks. Have a good one.
All right, and now I'll also talk to 2nd place Briar LaPrade. All right, Briar, you almost had that win in hand there at the very end. A long, hard-fought race at Loudon, but you slipped there at the very end. Jacob, talk about the end of that race for you.
That was a fun ending there. Jacob's been on my bumper the entire race, man. He was probably really annoyed and just wanting to get around me. He was, I don't know, just sometimes I was faster than him, he was faster than me. It was just back and forth, and he placed his car right. He had no fault there. That was on me. Just lost it off the corner. I don't know how I saved it on the straightaway though, and then come back to finish 2nd. I will take that, but I would have loved the win too.
Yeah, you'll get some more wins, man. But just talk about what the car drove like here at Loud. We know how hard it was to pass, but what was it actually like from a handling standpoint? What challenges were you facing?
Definitely tight going in. I had to lower the front brake bias, so give me a little loose going in there. Whoa, that was weird. Get a little loose going in, and then definitely loose off, because for some reason, especially off 2, it's like a roller coaster, kind of like how Dover is going in and out of the corner. It's just you go up and down, and the car gets a little loose. But yeah, I like this track, but man, I just disappointed about that. I wish I could have won.
Yeah, it stinks giving away at the end, but when you run like that all season, you're due to get your wins, man. So keep your head high. But who do you want to give a shout out to tonight for your 2nd?
Here for the meme squad, of course. Trevor, ADF, Cole, G-Man, Dylan, all them. They know who they are. Travis.
All right, Briar. So congrats again on the 2nd. Sorry it couldn't have been a win, but hopefully you'll get them next time. We'll talk to you.
All right, see you guys. DBAP, send it. Here for the memes.
All right, and now Evan Black will talk to the winner of tonight's race, Jacob Adams.
So Jacob, you come home with the victory here tonight at New Hampshire. What are your thoughts after this race?
Man, it was just a lot of fun running Briar there. I felt like if I could have gotten by him, I could have drove away and had just pretty clear sail in that last run there, but he had just enough on the top to hold me back. It was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, you were behind him for 50 or so laps there at the end, trying to get by him for the lead. Did it ever really get frustrating trying to get by him?
Yeah, I told him down there in the waiting room that I pretty much did everything to him that I could but hit him, and I pride myself in trying to run for the win clean right there, so glad to get it done without ever having to lay the bumper, but yeah, it's pretty frustrating.
How are the cars handling out there? It looks like they were pretty hard to pass. Were they tight, loose? How are they handling?
In my team speak, it seemed like people were having trouble like being tight and like loose off, but I had my rear brake like dialed all the way back, and I really wasn't feeling much of what they were. Drove pretty good.
All right, well, is there anyone you would like to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, just all my teammates, Josh, Shane, Nick, Walker, who wasn't here tonight, iBog Power, Evil, the Navy, just everybody that we have on our cars every week, and you guys for the broadcast.
All right, thanks for that, and once again, congrats on your victory here tonight at New Hampshire, and thanks for talking with us.
Yep, thanks guys.
All right, so that is the top 3 finishers here tonight at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. We'll quickly just flash the results on you for the screen one more time, just in case you missed them earlier in the race. Congrats to the top 3, Jacob Adams, Briar LaPrade, and Nick Massey for their finishes here tonight. Just a quick shout out for our channel sponsors here on PTR TV, Air Movement Fabrications, Krutz Custom Graphics, iBog Broadcast Overlay Graphics, our camera specialist Track Cams 4 Gourmets, and of course, if you don't mind, check out our Patreon, help us bring our channel to the next level. That's another broadcast here on PTR TV. We brought you the Hardline Racing Midwest POWERSOURCE Cup Series here live from the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Congrats to the winner that we obviously talked to of Jacob Adams for his hard-fought win at the Magic Mile. Signing out of the booth is Corey Silva and Evan Black. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good night, and we will see you on Monday.